Was asked to make a cook video by someone in the comments. After skimming YouTube for a little bit, I noticed there is not a lot of guide out there for cook. Or at least not in-depth guides that go into detail. So, I want to try to my best ability to explain how to play this character. Before we get started, there is a list of things I want to touch on so I can stay organized. Hopefully I will remember to put timestamps in the description, so you guys can easily navigate the video. We will talk about how his passive works. Talk about his spawn items. A big one that we will talk about is his utility to the crew and what kind of role he is. My Summit and Expanse runs I personally use. Cannibal Stews versus regular stews. Comparing cook to hunter. Then some other small tips and tidbits I have learned from playing over at least 500 matches with him. So the cook's passive is an easy one to understand. He cooks X amount faster with stove. A level 30 cook will cook 50% faster. Or twice as fast. If a stew takes 2 minutes to make, normally it will take 1 minute. Now 1 minute is not a lot. But if you make 6 stews one game, that is 6 minutes. You know what 6 minutes is also roughly. The whole day the team is out in the sun, so if you want to look at his passive that way, he has a solid perk. I still think they should rework him though, as other characters are more appealing, and have stronger passives. Next point is a short point. Is his starter gear, the cleaver and the stew. Now what to do with them is up to you. Sometimes I use the stew for warm at night when I am running back to the ship. Because I am late. Sometimes I give the stew to someone at the start of the map. The cleaver is a good weapon. But you know what also does roughly the same amount of damage? Bones. A lot of games I drop my cleaver on the ship. Because it is one extra slot I can use for meat. Yes, this how serious I am on how to be the most efficient with cook. I drop the only thing that protects me, so I can carry 5 more meat. Now the cook's utility. Is he important? What does he bring to the table? Let's be honest, the game is called Dread Hunger. Cook's role to make the food is just as important as getting coal. Yes, I will repeat myself. Cook's role to make the food is just as important as getting coal. Yes, I know, I can already see people typing. Well, people can just make their own food. You can win without stews. You see, to have the perfect crew means you have to have the perfect cook as well. An engineer can bring back 20 coal to the ship, but he will starve to death when he puts his coal in the boiler. Promise. This in not cook propaganda. So the next part to this guide is how I personally play cook on Summit and Expanse. Starting with Summit. I typically just jump off the right side of the ship right away. Doing this so I can be the first one to access a sinew and pelt. I make sure I gather 1 or 2 seals at the very beginning spot. I go ahead and gather 1 skeleton. Then I harvest the first wolf. Hopefully you get lucky and you find a pelt. If you don't, you just lost a lot of time. Then I go the next camp and gather 3 corpses and 2 or 3 skeletons. Then I make myself a backpack. Next I go into the cave and gather the 2 wolves and 2 skeletons in there. Leaving the cave, there should be 1 wolf and 2 skeletons shortly past the camp. Now this is where this gets kind of different. I keep going. I go to the igloo and I get the seal and 2 skeletons there. Run up the wood to get the 2 graves and 1 corpse. Depending on what crew you have, and how far into the day it is, it might be smart to make a lantern at this stop. Next I go into the boat and all around the boat to loot all skeletons. By now you may have 3 to almost 4 stews. I have made 4 stews on the first morning before. It is possible. So Expanse I am still trying to master. I know making a backpack is usually not the play. Jumping off the boat and going into the first cave is ideal. 2 skeletons and 1 cannibal. Leaving the cave you can find one skeleton and sometimes one seal right by it. Keep going forwards, and there should be 2 seals, harvest them. Next I get the wolf, then the 2 skeletons. I go into the shack for the hanging corpse. Now I travel all the way to Middle Island. I get the 3 wolves. I get 3 skeletons. Then try to find at least 2 seals. I travel all the way on the right side of the map. I get the wolf there. Then I get the 2 skeletons. I go to the shacks and get the hanging corpse too. I know this is a little out of order. But this is a hot topic. Cannibal stews versus regular stews. Each has its own pros and cons. Here are the pros to cannibal stew. There are more bones than meat on the map. You are stopping the thralls to getting bones. Easier runs. Cons are, bad stigma to being a cannibal. If your cook is not a good cook. People are now cannibals, and don't have stews to feed that certain diet. Cannibal stews only work if you have a good cook. Hunter is better than cook. Hunter is way more efficient. But it is just cook's role to get meat. 2 people don't need to gather meat. But it doesn't hurt as long as the hunter is not gathering the same meat on the cook's run. Well, thank you for watching if you made it this far. I tried to make this video quick, so I apologize for the low quality. If this has helped, don't forget to like and subscribe. I try to post frequently.